Hey guys, welcome to Zeus Fitness. Today we're a bit of a change of pace. We're putting the dumbbells, the barbells, the kettlebells and the body weight high intensity interval training exercises to the side, and today we're going to focus on a little bit of recovery. We're going to do a Pilates class and we're going to be focusing on mobility, flexibility, posture, injury prevention, injury rehab, all those things that come with Pilates. Now, I know what you're thinking, this is probably low intensity and not really for you, but trust me, as a 41-year-old man who still has to train 7 days a week and wrestle and do Brazilian jiu-jitsu, I need this now more than ever. Muscles stiffen up, they get tighter, and the older you get, the less flexible you get, so you gotta stay on top of this in order to keep you injury free, keep you supple and keep you flexible, so we can keep doing this for a long time to come. So without any further ado, let's get our mats or a nice rug on the floor and let's do some Pilates. Okay folks, welcome to Pilates. We're going to do a little bit of mobilization to start with. We're going to start up on our feet, we're going to make our way to the floor and finish on our feet, okay? So first things first, we're just going to mobilize the feet. So we're just going to pop up onto our tippy toes and then roll back and lift our toes up towards the ceiling. Just nice and slow. Right up onto the tip toes. Keep the feet hip width apart. Lift the toes and come back down. And just get those feet bedded in the floor. Now, first thing we're going to do, folks, is talk about your posture. We're going to keep your feet hip width apart. Hips in line with knees, in line with feet. We're going to place the hands by the pockets with the thumb and index finger pointing forward and the shoulders pinned back, so we don't want the shoulders rolling forward with the knuckles facing forward. Just stand nice and tall, okay, chest high, core engaged, okay, and then we're going to focus on the breathing. Now in Pilates we try and breathe into the rib cage rather than into the belly, so we're just going to demonstrate that by placing our hands just underneath our chest with our middle fingers touching. We're going to take a deep breath in through the nose. As we do, we're trying to breathe into the ribs, and if we breathe into the ribs, our fingers should part, and as we breathe out through the mouth, our fingers should come back in to meet in the middle. So just practice that. In through the nose, expand the rib cage, out through the mouth, letting the fingers touch again in the middle. And we're going to try and maintain that style of breathing throughout the class, okay? Now, next thing we're going to do is just engage the core. Now, we're going to engage the core to 30% of your maximum, okay? So, just draw in the abs nice and tight to 100%, okay? Like somebody's about to punch you in the tummy, okay? Then just relax it a little, and a little more. So the core is braced, but it's not fully locked in, okay? Unless we're doing some core exercises where we really need to engage that. So that's our posture, that's our breathing, okay? Now we're going to get into some mobilization stuff, okay? I've already mobilized the feet and the calves, so we're just going to place the hands on the hips. And what we're going to do here is tilt the pelvis forward and backwards, all right? So upper body and lower body stays nice and still. This is your pelvis doing the movement here. Again, deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Just imagine you've got a bucket of water here, just at your midsection. You're spilling some over your toes, and then you're spilling some over your heels. Just back and forth. And we're going to rock back a little less and then come to a halt with our pelvis tilted slightly forward, okay? And that's where we're going to keep our hips throughout the workout, okay? Now we're just going to mobilize the neck, okay? So tight shoulders and sore necks, very common in modern day life. So we're just going to start by dropping the ear down towards the shoulder on each side. Nice and gently, nice and slow. Don't bring your shoulder up to meet your ear, just drop it down as low as you can. come back to the middle. Now we're going to nod the head up and down. And back to the middle. Now we're going to look left to right. So just breathe out as you twist around to the side. Back to the middle, breathing in, and breathe out as you twist around to the other side. And back we come to the middle. Now we're going to drop the chin to the right shoulder and semi-circle round to the left shoulder, and then back the way we came. Back to the middle. Now a couple of big shoulder rolls. Deep breath in and breathe out. Okay, now I'm just going to mobilize the shoulders a little bit with some shoulder openings. So we bring our arms up above our head, brushing our biceps past our ears. Bring the hands down to shoulder height and breathe out as we bring them in to meet the middle, and repeat. Keeping that core engaged, getting the breathing right. Deep breath in through the nose and breathe out through the mouth. One more. Okay, now we're just going to get some connections. Now connections are, you get your heels together, your calves together, your inner thighs together, and your glutes together, and your toes should be fist width apart, okay? And what we're going to do now is a waist twist, so no movement from the waist down. We're going to stack our hands up and make a rectangle in front of us, okay? And we're going to keep our connections and keep our eye on our forearm as we breathe out and twist around to the side. Now the rectangle stays intact, so we don't bring the elbows in towards us. We keep that rectangle intact and we just move the torso and just relax those shoulders so you're not bunching your traps up near your ears. Another big shoulder roll. Okay, now just remember those connections. We'll be coming back to those later. Now we're going to do a side-to-side rocker. So we're going to get the feet double or triple width apart. Okay, and from here we're going to lunge over to the side, stretching out the inner thigh. Back to the middle, breathing in and breathing out as we come down to the other side. Okay, just nice slow breathing. Try and get as deep as you can with each side lunge that we're doing. One more on each side. And just bring the feet back in to the middle. Now, we're going to stretch out those hamstrings. So we're going to get the feet hip width apart. We're going to tilt down and tuck our fingers underneath our toes. You're going to lower the backside towards the floor and breathe out as you fully straighten those arms up. Hold, or those legs, sorry. Hold for a couple of seconds
and repeat. Now we're going to straighten those legs up, hold it there, free the hands up, and we're going to place our hands on our opposite elbows and just allow our upper body to hang, keeping the legs nice and straight, a nice stretch of the hamstrings. And from here we're going to push the back side out to the right, back to the middle, and out to the left. And relax. Now what we're going to do is walk forward with our hands. Okay, and come into downward dog position. Okay, so we're piking up to make a triangle. From here you're going to push one heel towards the ground as you lift the other one, and then alternate from side to side. Yeah, get a nice stretch in the calves and the hamstrings. And I push both heels towards the ground, hold it there. And from here, we're going to lower the chest towards the floor and then push up into a cobra position and then come back to a pike and repeat. So just lower the chest down, push up and repeat. Deep breath in here. Breathe out as we come down and come up into the cobra. We're going to do one more of these and then we get into the cobra position. We're going to hold it, flatten out those feet at the back. And relax. Okay, just bring yourself down onto your tummy. You're going to stack your hands to make a little pillow, and you're going to bring your heels up towards your backside, and you're going to swish them down towards the floor on either side. And relax. Now up next we got prone baits. So what we do here, keep the head on the back of the hands. We're going to get a connection, so heels together, calves together, inner thighs together, and toes fist width apart. And from here, keeping the legs nice and straight, we're going to lift up from the hips, so no bend in the knee. We're going to breathe out as we click those heels together 10 times, then bring it back nice and slow. So try not to bend the knee, try and lift up from the hips, and just repeat 10 beats at a time. Again, try not to bend the knees, lift up from the hips so your quads are off the floor. You're breathing out as you're clicking the heels together, breathing in on the way down. And we'll go one more batch of 10. And relax. Okay, good stuff, folks. Now we're just going to come down to all fours. And we're going to do sad cat, happy cat. So hands shoulder width apart, knees hip width apart. We're going to tilt the pelvis forward, lifting up the head, breathing in. And breathe out as we tuck the chin in towards the chest and C curve the upper back. And repeat. And come back to neutral, so spine nice and flat. Okay, now up next we're going to do a hip flexor stretch. So what we're going to do is we're going to stay on all fours. We're going to bring a left foot to the outside of the left hand, so the left knee is just beside your left shoulder. We're going to walk that right leg back as far as we can, foot flat on the floor. And we're going to posture up and look forward, pushing the hips down towards the floor and stretching out the hip flexor. And focus on the breathing, deep breaths. The more relaxed you are, the deeper you'll stretch. Now, if you're up for a challenge, take that left foot and try and straighten it out. So the left heel is on the floor with the toes pointing up towards the ceiling. If that's too much for you, just stay in the regular hip flexor stretch. If you want an even bigger challenge, try and posture up. Place your hands behind your back and hold it there. And slowly bring your hands back down. And relax on your tummy, place your head on your back of your hands again, lift your heels up toward the back side, and have a quick swish from side to side. Okay, now we're going to come back to all fours. Knees directly underneath hips. Hands directly underneath shoulders. Now we're going to bring our right foot up next to our right hand with the right knee on the outside of the right elbow. And we're going to walk that left leg back as far as we can, pushing the hips towards the floor. Then we're going to posture up and look forward. Deep breaths again. Stretch out the hip flexor as much as you can. And if you're up for a challenge, you can try and straighten that right leg out with the heel on the ground and the toes pointing upwards. Bring the hamstrings into it. If you're really up for a challenge, you can take your hands away, place them behind your back and hold it there. And relax, just slowly bring yourself out of it and lie on your tummy again. Place your hands together, forehead on the back of the hands, and have another swish from side to side. Okay, now we're just going to roll over onto our side. We're going to straighten the arm up above the head and rest our ear on it. So from the top of your fingers to the bottom of your toes should be a nice straight line. Now we're going to engage the core so that we have a gap just here at the obliques, between the obliques and the floor. And you're just going to place your other hand down to support you. Now we're going to keep the hips stacked. So that means don't roll back in your hips to allow more movement. All right, the hips stay on top of each other. And the obliques engage, and from here we're going to take a deep breath in. We're going to breathe out as we raise the leg up, just about a foot or so, and breathe in the way back down. Don't let it rest on the other ankle. Just down to touch, and come back up. Again, keep those hips stacked. Don't roll them backwards to allow more movement. Shouldn't be too high of a movement, just slightly more than the foot is what you're raising your leg. Now this time we're going to keep the feet a couple of inches apart. Keep the foot up and you're going to point your toes as you kick forward and then curl the toes in towards you as you heel drag backwards. And just go slightly beyond the foot. So breathe out as you kick forward and heel drag back, breathing in. Remember to keep that core engaged. There's a gap there between the floor and the obliques. Now keep the foot elevated, feet in line with each other. And now we're going to do a hip circle backwards. So just slow, small circles, just going backwards. Should start to feel a nice burny feeling going on in your hips. And relax. Okay, give the back side a little punch there. You should be feeling that, working those hips. Now what we're going to do is take the top leg and bring it up in front of us. Bring the knee nice and close to us. And now we're going to take the hand that's on the floor underneath the head and we're going to place it on the outside of the knee. So we're going to use this hand to pull the knee upwards and hold it down. Now we're going to place the other hand on the back of the head. And we're going to breathe out as we peel open and we lift the knee off the floor and come about halfway, the biting point between the elbow being on the floor and the knee being on the floor. So you're somewhere in between there. You should get a really good stretch right up the back side into the lower back. And just hold it there. And just roll right the way over onto your back. Get the soles of the feet on the floor and just give the legs a swish from side to side again. We'll keep coming back to this one, but it's a great one for mobilizing the hips and lower back. Relax. Now we're going to make our way over onto the other side. So we're going to lie down on the opposite side with the arms stretched above our head. Okay, so from the fingertips down to the bottom of the toes, one nice straight line. Okay, we're going to get the gap between the obliques and the floor and then place our hand down to support us. We're going to keep the hips stacked again. Don't roll the hips back so you can get your foot up really high. That's not the objective here. Keep the hips stacked, which will minimize the movement. And we're going to breathe out as we raise the leg up and breathe in the way back down. Just nice and slow.
Now we're going to keep the foot slightly elevated. We're going to breathe out as we point the toes away from us, kicking forward, then curl the toes in towards us, heel drag backwards, breathing in, and the foot just goes slightly past your other foot. Keep the leg nice and straight. Always keeping that core engaged. Now we're going to keep those feet apart, and from here we're going to do small circles backwards with the hips. And again, it should be a burny feeling going on in your hips right now. Don't panic, that's supposed to happen. Just keep focusing on the breathing. Relax, good stuff. Get the back side of the punch there, make sure it's still live. Okay, now what we're going to do is bring the top leg over the up like so, sorry. Bring the knee in nice and tight towards you. We're going to take the hand that's on the floor and place it on the outside of the knee. Get the other hand behind the head, and we're going to breathe out as we pull the knee down and up towards us and find the halfway point there. And we're going to hold it there. And now we're going to roll right the way over onto our back. And soles of the feet on the floor. We're just going to have a swish from side to side. Okay, from here we're going to do a spine bridge. So we're just going to place the hands on the floor. Now I want you to imagine your vertebrae as a string of pearls, sorry, and you're going to lift one pearl up at a time. So we're going to take a deep breath in through the nose. As we breathe out, we're going to peel our pelvis, followed by one vertebrae at a time, up off the floor into a bridge. But we're also going to bring our hands up above our head as we do it. Place them there, hold the bridge, and then breathe in as we lower the vertebrae back, one vertebrae at a time. Relax, good stuff. Now from here, we're going to do windows. Now that means we bring the hands up like so. We're going to drop the elbows down in line with the shoulders. Then we rotate the back of the hands to the floor. Then we're going to straighten the arms up above us and breathe out as we return to starting position. So bring the elbows down in line with the shoulders, rotate the back of the hands towards the floor, stretch those arms out behind us and return to starting position. And relax. All right, from here, folks, we're just going to roll onto our side and going to use our right arm as a pillow. Okay, and we're going to bring this leg up onto the floor like so. And from here, we're going to take our hand and point our finger, and we're going to try and keep our finger on the ground as much as we can as we draw a circle around us, and then we get back to starting position. So draw a big circle around us, but try and keep that finger on the floor as much as you can before you have no choice but to lift it up. Now we're just going to place the hand out in front, and what we're going to do next is drag that hand in towards us across our chest and peel open as much as we can, keeping the hand just slightly above shoulder height, so we don't want to push the shoulder forward. We want to open it up and get a chest stretch as well, and return to starting position. So drag that hand in across the chest, peel yourself open and return to starting position. Make sure that foot and knee stay on the floor out front. And this time when we open up, we're going to hold. Just allow your upper body to relax and your arm just to almost hold itself there. And close it up and relax. Now I'm just going to take the seat up onto your back side. I'm just going to tuck the soles of the feet together. Bring them in nice and tight, clasp them with our hands, and then just bring our chest down towards our feet, hold it there. And relax. Now, we're going to move over onto the other side. So using your arm as a pillow, start with the legs nice and straight, and then we're going to bring the top leg over the top with the inside of our foot and the inside of our knee up nice and high, connected to the floor. We're going to take our finger, point it out front, and we're going to do a nice big circle around as much as we can before our finger has to lift up off the floor. I'm going to keep that arm straight, so don't bend that elbow. Keep it as straight as you can. And just really work the flexibility of the shoulder. We'll do one more shoulder circle. And relax. Now just going to place the hand out front. And once again, we're going to breathe in as we drag it out. Breathing out as we bring it back to starting position. Last one, we're going to hold it open. Just hold just allow the upper body to relax. Allow that arm just to hang freely without us putting resistance on it. And slowly bring it back in. Now we're just going to roll onto your tummy. We're nearly finishing up here. Now we're just going to come back to all fours. And we're just going to do sad cat, happy cat again. So tilt the pelvis forward, lifting up the head. C curve up as you breathe out. Just come to neutral. Now we're going to tuck the toes in underneath our feet, and we're going to slowly come onto our soles of our feet and slowly bring ourselves back up. And then do a shoulder roll up top. And we're just going to do a couple of shoulder rolls. Deep breath in, roll the shoulders back, breathe out. We're just going to do a couple of swing downs to finish. So just up onto your tippy toes, the arms stretch up above the head. And we're going to squat down and swipe the hands off the floor, then back up onto the tiptoes. Keep your balance. And one more. And relax. And that's going to do this for today.